You're listening to Western Massachusetts Sports Radio Leader. Sports Radio 105.5 WVEI FM and WVEI HD1 East Hampton.
Welcome to the off season with Joe Trop and Chris Farrader on Sports Radio 105.5 WEEI. And now, here are your hosts, Joe and Chris.
Good morning and welcome to the off-season, sponsored by Dr. Deegan's Restaurant Lounge, Burnett Road in Chicopee. Joe, what do you got this morning?
Hey, morning, Pard. Morning, RHB. How you doing?
Hey, we're having a great start today. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, today's shout-out goes to Michael Townley Buckley in Granby, Mass., a loyal off-season listener. Good morning, Buck. How you doing, buddy?
Good morning, Michael.
Hey, Chris, I want to talk about, just mention that Munson's Megan Boyle reached the 1,000-point plateau against Franklin Tech last Monday night to become only the second girl in school history to score 1,000 points.
Congratulations goes out to Megan. It seems like there's a lot of 1,000-point scorers recently. Usually at the end of the year you get that. I know there's a couple guys waiting to do it in the high school tournament. Danny Martin, son of Bobby Martin, longtime official and great football player in the area, and from the Martin family. I think he's going to do it at East Long Meadow in the tournament. So congratulations, Megan, and there's certainly a lot of those.
Yep, for sure. And I hope we don't miss any because, as you say, there are a number of them late in the year that reach that plateau and, be just like us to miss one, or me. But we'll try not to.
Yeah, we put you in charge of that, Joe, so you get the yes or no on that. Bob, what do you got this morning?
Well, we've got a quick shout-out. My daughter Sarah has flown up this weekend from Washington, D.C. with her boyfriend, Mr. Matt Healy, and they'll be attending the baby shower for Kate Brennan Laporte, of course, married to Dave Laporte, the long hitter, great gentleman of golf. You all have played with and against Dave Laporte. He's quite a power hitter.
And a great dancer.
Congratulations to Dave and Kate.
Yes, the arrival is expected in early April, and we send our warmth and best wishes to the Laporte-Brennan dynasty.
You're lucky your daughter can fly out of Washington, D.C., the way it's been going down there this year, Bob, with all the snow, about 40 inches, I think.
Well, it's been tough, and Matt's flying up from Chapel Hill, the home of the defending national champion Tar Heels.
Yeah, and don't we love that Carolina blue sweater vest you're wearing
Bob
today, RHB?
Carolina sweater vest on, even after last night, this week's loss to Florida State at home, and that puts them at 500 on the year. Bob, tell us a little bit. It seems like years ago that they won the national championship.
Well, first of all, I'm enjoying this sweater. It came at a pretty good price, and 2 more payments and it'll be mine. But the Tar Heels, they were picked number 4 or 5 in the country preseason, and I understand they're going to play Winnick and AIC in a round robin for the President's Cup here in May.
Yeah, it's a struggle this year for those guys. We know what's going on up the road in Amherst with UMass. We had Coach Kellogg on a few weeks ago. They had a week off this week, and they're playing Dayton today. They do need to, if they can win their last 3, they can probably get that 8 seed, which allows them to host a home game in the Atlantic 10 tournament. But they got Dayton on the road. They got LaSalle on the road, who's already beaten them, and then they got Rhode Island at home, who's an NCAA team. So, Joe, 3 tough games. Let's see if they can use those to build towards next year.
Well, then, Chris, the other UMass team we've been following on a weekly basis is the hockey team. And Toot, of course, was a guest of ours weeks ago and a friend of the off-season. And certainly he's been gracious. And we've sat courtside, or is that ice side, but had very good seats there. But, boy, are they struggling now. They may not even make the tournament in Hockey East. And I don't know what's going on, but they've got 2 of the leading scorers in the country, and they're just not scoring goals.
Yeah, they're young. It seems they outshoot all their teams, and they just don't. I guess that's a big stat in hockey, but they just don't. They haven't been putting the puck in the net. Maybe that has a lot to do with the youth. I think all their best players are freshmen, sophomores. So.
Well, hopefully they can pull it together. They've got a couple more games left and make that tournament and turn the season around. But boy, it's been it's been a free fall here for the last couple of weeks.
The thing about hockey, with the level that they're at in Hockey East, they've shown they can beat the best teams in the country. So if they get hot at the right time, they can go right through and have a great NCAA playoffs, things like that. So,
no question about it. Bob?
Joe, no, I'm going to jump right in here. This week on Monday and Tuesday, we had a little bit of that spring weather, that nice day out. Guys are out hitting balls. I know Toccoa was open last week, and East
Definitely
Mountain was
Sunday,
open
yeah.
last week, and then we had this rain and slush, and hopefully that gets away from there, because I'm getting the itch. I'm getting the itch. Bob, you getting the itch to get out there and do a little marshalling?
Yes, Eastern Mountain must have been open the other day, and also I want to thank you for inviting me to that Dutch treat luncheon on Tuesday at Dr. Deegan's.
Oh, wasn't that good?
Oh, my goodness, the homemade delicacies. They have the special each day, and
The price too low to mention.
yes, we can't mention it on air, but Dr. Deegan's, Mr. Lake, and his great family, they're doing a terrific job.
They have everything there. If you have an outing you need to have, they got the room in the back. If you want a little Cheers-style atmosphere at the bar where everybody knows your name, they got that great square bar. And if you just want family dining, they've got the front. So they've got everything. And every time that we've gone over there for a little meeting of the minds, Joe, it's been tremendous.
Well, not to mention that if you want to hear how to hit a straight T-ball, I'm sure Long Ball Lake will sit there and pontificate a bit on that. Peter's a real good driver of the golf ball, but
And he can putt
morning,
too.
Pete, and a good putter, and a hell of a dancer.
Yes.
Well, he's low key. He understates his golf game, but he and Eddie Garbo won that big event at Ludlow, and
Sure did.
he's a player to. Mr. Lake is a player to be reckoned with.
Yes, he sure is.
And we really appreciate all the support on the show. So thank you again. But I recommend to everybody, if you're looking for a little luncheon or something, stop over at Dr. Deegan's and have yourself a treat. So anyway, this week's show, we're going to have the guys from the Springfield YMCA coming in. James and Andrea, who is the president, and
Jeff Sadler,
and
the
Jeff
co-host,
Sadler, who's the co-host
from Nouveau Bank.
Because they've got Theo Epstein coming in to be their keynote speaker on April 21st, the big 1,100-person breakfast at Western New England College, and they've had some great sponsorships. They've had an anonymous donor who's allowed every high school team in the area to bring both their baseball and softball coach and one player from each team, and to show up there and for free and see what Theo has to say. So that's awesome.
That's such a good cause, and it's the local Y, and it's such a terrific organization. We're going to keep an eye on that. That's still 4 weeks out, that fundraiser, and we'll keep an eye on that.
Closer to 8 weeks out, but that's okay. Bob, what do you think about
8
Theo?
weeks out? That's right.
That's all right. What do you're the verbal part of the SAT as it comes to the off season. I'll take care of the mathematics. But Bob, what do you think about Theo Epstein showing up in Springfield during the season?
Well, that's tremendous. He's going to take that helicopter and come on in. But Jeff Sadler, the president of Nouveau Bank, he loves the nouveau riche, but he'll also he'll open an account with anyone. That's a great progressive bank, the Nouveau Bank, and I know our good friend Joe Topper is on the board, and many others. So they're on the move, and we appreciate that and wish them all the best.
And we really look forward to having those guys in on that. That'll be in our fourth segment, Look Ahead today. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit of golf.
On Sports Radio 105.5. WEEI.
Dr. Deegan's Restaurant and Lounge has a family-friendly atmosphere with 2 dining rooms and a large 30-seat bar. The bar area offers complete mass lottery and keno services while watching all the games on 50-inch plasma TVs situated for your viewing pleasure. They offer a large selection of bottled beer, local microbrews, and both domestic and imports on tap. Dr. Deegan's has all your favorite appetizers, generous specialty salads, and homemade soups and chili to start you off. They offer mile-high deli sandwiches, pressed burgers, and their famous Reubens. If you're looking for steaks, chops, seafood, or pasta, their nightly specials start at $9.95. If you can make it for lunch, they have daily blackboard specials that offer ample portions with prices too low to mention. Don't forget, the main dining room is always available for private parties, luncheons, and functions for up to 75 guests. Dr. Deegan's is conveniently located at 510 Burnett Road in Chicopee, just off the Mass Pike at Exit 6 and at the end of the Interstate 291. Give Pete and his dedicated staff a call at 592-33 3378 to book your next function, or just stop by for a good time, a cold beverage, and great food at reasonable prices.
Want to get the best damn coffee in town? Whether you have time to enjoy the comfortable surroundings or need to get to your next destination, the Dam Cafe has what you need. Centrally located on Route 5 in Holyoke, the Dam Cafe features locally brewed Blue Moon coffee to start your day, homemade soups and gourmet sandwiches to eat in or take out for lunch or dinner, and leather couches and free Wi-Fi if you're looking to relax with a latte or cappuccino later on. So, the next time you find yourself waiting in line at the drive-thru for an okay cup of coffee, think about the Dam Cafe and give yourself a treat.
Edwards Insurance Agency is proud to be a sponsor of the off-season in its inaugural year on Sports Radio 105.5 WEEI. We would like to wish the hosts Joe Trop and Chris Ferreter the very best with the show. Edwards Insurance Agency is located at 10 Center Street in downtown Chicopee. Edwards Insurance handles auto, home, and life, as well as business insurance needs. Please stop in and see us or give us a call at 413-598-8381 for all your insurance needs.
You've heard about the new zip lines at Berkshire East, and fall is the perfect time to experience them. Imagine the rush of zip lining down the side of a mountain with the treetops at your feet. Or if you're an extreme thrill seeker, you can now zip across an entire valley at heights up to 200 feet and speeds up to 60 miles an hour. You and a friend can even race along dual zip lines. It's an experience you'll never forget. Beginning tours are also available, so don't wait. Call Berkshire East Canopy Tours in Charlemont at 413-339-6618 or log on to berkshirezip.com.
Hey, Chris. Do you have time to go out after golf today?
Sure, Joe. What do you say we go and see Pat and the gang down at Brennan's Pub?
Outstanding. A glass of Guinness, some of Pat's famous wings, and all the games on TV. Does it get any better than that?
I don't see how it can. Remember, the kitchen's open until they close.
A little bit of Ireland downtown. Brennan's Pub, located on High Street in Holyoke. Tell Pat Joe and Chris sent you.
Let's get back to the off-season on Sports Radio 105.5 WEEI.
Welcome back to the off-season, sponsored by Dr. Deegan's Restaurant Lounge on Burnett Road in Chicopee. Joe?
Well, I'm going to throw it over to RHB. Bob, what do you got in mind here?
Well, we ought to talk a little of national golf. We had the Accenture tournament on last week, a 5-day event. You guys are strong in the marketing world. To have the finals, Paul Casey and Ian Poulter from Angleterre over across the pond, I imagine the sponsors would have liked someone a little more noteworthy, but they're great players. And, I watched quite a bit of the semifinals against Villegas against Casey. Did you guys catch any of that?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Well, it went 4 extra holes, and Camilo missed about a 3-footer as darkness approached. But, it was good golf. But like on Sunday, I saw 15 times I saw that elephant cross the ravine. I don't know. And, it's interesting. Accenture, with all their pomp and ceremony, I don't know who the hell Accenture is. They're innovative, they're progressive, and they do outsourcing. But I've got a little contest today. The first person that can email us and tell me if they've ever dealt with Accenture or ever heard of what they're selling, they get a foursome at Toccoa National Golf Club.
Off-season at WEEI.com. Bob and I will sponsor that.
Toccoa National.
Toccoa, if someone can email in and tell us what Accenture
what does Accenture do for $15 billion?
Let me ask you guys, Sunday morning, what time did that come on?
That came on real early.
10 o'clock?
Well, it's a 36-hole final, so they allow people that want to watch all 36 holes to watch all 36 holes.
Gosh, how many people on a Sunday morning at 10 o'clock put the Golf Channel on? Or I've got to believe they covered the first.
Do you think the finals, 18 holes is enough?
Yes,
are we leading up to that?
Yes, I do.
Well, I think maybe you're saying 18 holes enough for them to cover. But I'm sure they had plenty of people watching it. I just think Bob got on a point. Poulter and Casey are both ranked in the top 10, maybe top 5 right now, right? Poulter jumped up to 5, and Casey was 3 last year. Yeah. So you got 2, and that doesn't push the needle at all. At all. I mean, granted, they're both from England, and England's got 10 of the top 100 right now. That's tremendous revival with that country for top players. But it just doesn't move the needle, and that's kind of why there's only one match play tournament a year. The TV decides. Bob, you remember when the PGA was match play, and then did Doug Ford win the last one, or did he win the first one of going to stroke play? But they had to get rid of it because you can get finals like that, and nobody tunes in.
Well, we had Walter Berkemo there in the early 50s from Michigan playing, and then Lionel Hebert and Jay Hebert both won it. Bob Rosberg won it. But, I'm thinking about this golf here in the finals. Now, I've got a little bit of the old-fashioned attitude, and I'm not a logo major.
Just a little.
Just a little. In the finals, Poulter is out there. He's pretty in pink. He's got the pink sweater, the pink slacks. He could have gone to a Halloween party disguised as a flamingo, And Ian Poulter out there, and I'd like to know about that Grecian formula. I'm a little thin on top, and Kim that does my hair doesn't take too much time, but he's got that porcupine look, and his hair is going in 12 different directions. Tell me, doesn't he have to spend a lot of time in front of the mirror for that?
Well, I think he's probably got a few mirrors in that bedroom, RH, but he's very colorful. He's fun to watch. I think he's going to be a great champion, and I think he's going to draw a lot of viewership.
Well, he's a great player, Chris, and I made a note of this. The 6 logos that he had on that day, Titleist, Cobra, Mutual of Omaha, the Wild Kingdom. My goodness, with old Mr. Perkins there with the mustache. The Woburn Club,
chasing
FootJoy,
the elusive birdie,
and MasterCard. My God, he's a walking billboard. Then you've got Villegas, who wears his clothes 6 sizes too small so that one muscle might pop. and it bothers me, Chris, you're a marketing man. They got him dressed now. He's got the new thing, the white pants, the white stovepipe hat, and he's about 106 pounds, but he really can pound it. But I hate to be considered a marketing, I don't know. He's over-marketed, and he's a great player.
Well, it's all about the dollar. Poulter's wearing $1.5 million on just on those logos on his body. If you say he's got 6 of them, I'll take your word for it. But if he's top 10 in the country, that's
I like the guy though. I mean, he reminds me a bit of. He has the same demeanor as a Rory Sabatini in that both he and Sabatini were not afraid to talk about how good they thought they were, and they could someday challenge to be number 1. Whether or not they'll ever be number 2 is
any guy that
conjecture,
says that's got my backing.
But you gotta
what are
like
they out there for? If they don't think they can ever become number 1, what are they out there for?
Poulter's a great player. I was surprised that when he hit his best drive, he's tall and lean, a perfect build for golf. I was surprised that his better drive was about 323 1/4, and Casey, 2 or 3 inches shorter, more standard size. It was amazing. 350, 345. So
Casey's kind of got those Popeye forearms, though, and he swings at it pretty hard. Poulter swings a little bit more classic, a little more like
fluid.
Faldo.
Yeah.
Faldo was a big guy, didn't move it out there that far. But, Bob, let me ask you this. Nicholas is one of your guys. You haven't played against him a few times in tournaments as a junior, and he always disdained the fact that guys would talk about their top 10s and their top 5s. It was all about winning. If you said you were out there to finish in the top 10, granted, you can make a lot of money doing that nowadays, but he never liked to hear that. So Joe's point about Sabatini or Poulter talking about someday being number 1 or beating whoever, I think that's great, don't you?
Well, I think it is. It's admirable. I know Sabatini never took any humility classes in college, and he's
if
the
he
guy.
Did, he didn't pass.
He didn't pass him, but he's the guy that one day was playing with Ben Crane. You remember this about 3 years ago, and left him. Went to the 18th tee and left Crane on the 17th green. He was plumb bobbing in front of 3 people. and so Sabatini, he's a little bit surly, a little bit hot-headed, but he, like you said, Chris, he's a great player.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. I think these guys should want to challenge and want to be number 1. And I think putting it out there just makes them own up to that a little bit more. There's been an era of guys since Tiger came along that really haven't wanted to challenge him, thinking that if they had come out and said that, either they're going to get crucified for it because they're not good enough, or if they don't attain it, people will say stuff. But who cares? That's what they're out there for. Too many guys laying down and saying, I can be number 2. No
well,
good.
You're right. And when Tiger, if he does come back soon, now you've got your Rory McIlroy and your Dustin Johnson and a lot of young, real good players out there. Rick Fowler there and Ishikawa from Japan. There's a whole new group coming. Don't you think it's going to be pretty exciting to catch up to that?
I like McElroy and Ishikawa and Fowler, their attitude about it, and I think that's what's going to have to happen. I think it's better when there's a lot of top players at the top, and I'll guarantee you that Lee Trevino, Raymond Floyd, or any of the other guys, Gary Player, Arnold Palmer, when Nicklaus was just as dominant as Tiger with the equipment, he's hitting at 350 with wood and Balata balls, so he's just as long. And none of those guys thought about being number 2. They couldn't wait.
I don't think
Watson,
Ishikawa, McElroy, any Dustin Johnson, those guys aren't afraid of Tiger Woods.
But there was an era of guys that say from 28 to 40 now that just
didn't
want to challenge him.
No question.
I always thought Ernie Els would. Duval did for a little while. I always thought Ernie Els would, but then he got injured, and he's a little bit more laid back than some of these young guys coming up, and I like that.
You go back to the 60s with Arnold Palmer. I mean, who challenged Arnie? Jack, and then Jack came along, Billy Casper.
None of those guys were afraid of each other, and that's why they all have multiple major championships.
Player.
And Gaddy Player, just ask him. He's got 8 or 9 majors. I'll never forget when Jim Mullen saw him play a couple of years ago. I think at Concord, is it the senior event?
Sure, in Neshodic.
Neshodic, and he was in the light rough about 180, and he hit a towering high metal wood out of the rough and 6 feet from the hole. And he turned to the crowd. And he said, I could hit 1,000 balls and never replicate that shot. And one of the gallery said, Gary, who asked you? And then another guy said, what club did you use? He said it was a Callaway 9-wood. And so Gary Player, we'll talk about him someday, but not too soon.
So anyhow, we wrapped up the golf last week. The women had another tournament that, out in Korea, and no one knows about.
Thailand.
Ivy Azato shot a 63 in the last round to beat Suzanne Pedersen, but nobody really knows.
We've discussed this in the past. Bob, certainly you and I have spent time on it. That tour, this is the second tournament on television. It's February 27th, and I think that over half of the tournaments are going to be played overseas before July 1.
Yeah. No one knows about it.
They've hired a new director and hope that he gives them a little momentum. Once again, for those of us in this area, we became fascinated, especially with Michelle Wee. We think she can be the new poster girl for the tour. I think she finished even last week. She wasn't heard from too much, was she, Chris?
There wasn't much to find out about that tournament, but I know she wasn't in the top 20.
The girl shot 63 the final round. Miss Pedersen had 69. Imagine that, shooting 6-9 and still losing. Well, let's get them back to the mainland here and give them a boost, and we'll talk about them as much as we can and try to promote it ourselves a little.
Well, they're out in Phoenix this week for the Waste Management Open, Bob.
Yeah, that originated in Granby.
By the way,
that's one of the longest continually running tournaments on tour, and it's a lot of fun with that 16th hole out there, as you mentioned last week. So we'll talk a little bit about that.
Waste Management, that's an appropriate sponsor for the 20,000 people hanging around that 16th hole, isn't it?
Yeah.
My Lord, San Diego State and a bottle of beer.
16, Bob.
Well, I know that the security is tight on that hole, and there's all kinds of guardsmen around there. And last year, 3 guys walked to that tee. They were cold stone sober. They weren't allowed to get in. They were turned away, and they said, go to the refreshment stand and come back. But I want to give a shout-out also to Walter Gondella, who is the director of the Waste Management in Granby. He runs the Granby landfill. He's been there for years. He's in his early 70s. And Walter, you're a big Tiger Woods fan, and we talk golf when I visit you every 2 weeks. And keep up the good work at the Granby landfill.
Hey, I saw the first poll on Tiger in the golf world a few nights ago, and 82% of the people who were polled thought he was sincere in his statements. So just just to kind of help support what I was saying, let's keep an eye on that. 82%.
I think that poll was from the people at his press conference last week.
He had enough.
Those were the people just in the room that they took that poll at.
God almighty. I don't know.
That didn't work out too well, and we all saw it. We all have our own feelings. He read the script. Many experts have said that if he just went on with Larry King or Oprah Winfrey or some great personality one-on-one, and like you said, Joe, did the mea culpas, but talk to that person sincerely, not from a prepared text, because this looked just so orchestrated. To me, it set him back. Whatever we were... I mean, I want him to get back. He gave golf...
Oh, we all do.
We want him back soon. I think he went backwards. With that press release, he didn't gain a thing. He might have even lost a few people.
Well, we find out now that he's in another rehab for prescription pills out in Arizona this week. So maybe that's where he was heading. And, we wish him the best getting over prescription pills, because we all probably know somebody that's had problems with that, and it can be very difficult. But getting back to your, Larry King or Oprah, Joe did offer the off-season up for his first public speaking, but we got turned down by IMG. We just weren't
you didn't
large
get through
enough
to
at
him?
that time, but that was before you came on with the show, Bob. So
hey, on to the next one.
Anyway, we got a surprise guest up after this commercial, and we'll be right back.
On Sports Radio 105.5 WEEI.
Dr. Deegan's Restaurant and Lounge has a family-friendly atmosphere with 2 dining rooms and a large 30-seat bar. The bar area offers complete mass lottery and keno services while watching all the games on 50-inch plasma TVs situated for your viewing pleasure. They offer a large selection of bottled beer, local microbrews, and both domestic and imports on tap. Dr. Deegan's has all your favorite appetizers, generous specialty salads, and homemade soups and chili to start you off. They offer mile-high deli sandwiches, pressed burgers, and their famous Reubens. If you're looking for steaks, chops, seafood, or pasta, their nightly specials start at $9.95. If you can make it for lunch, they have daily blackboard specials that offer ample portions with prices too low to mention. Don't forget, the main dining room is always available for private parties, luncheons, and functions for up to 75 guests. Dr. Deegan's is conveniently located at 510 Burnett Road in Chicopee, just off the Mass Pike at Exit 6 and at the end of Interstate 291. Give Pete and his dedicated staff a call at 592-3378 to book your next function, or just stop by for a good time, a cold beverage, and great food at reasonable prices.
Do you have a family full of golfers? Having trouble getting a prime tee time? Consider a Holyoke Country Club for your family's needs. Head professional Via Whiteman is second to none when it comes to working with junior golfers. There are numerous outings for the whole family, and getting out on the course is never a problem. Log on to www.holyokecountryclub.com and check out the very reasonable family plans, or to purchase a gift certificate for carts, greens fees, or even your membership. Next golf season, make it Holyoke Country Club for your family.
Need to communicate? Sell your services? Stand out from your competitors? Direct mail works. Let ARS Strategic Mail Services in Holyoke show you how to communicate with your customers or reach new prospects. People like to get mail. Put your message directly into people's hands with targeted direct mail. Let our 30 years of experience lead you through the maze of the Postal Service, all for less than the cost of a first-class stamp. ARS Strategic Mail Services, 532 Main Street in Holyoke, 413-532-2515.
Looking to improve your identity? Let Louis Logo help. From the largest corporation to the smallest organizations, we can fill your needs for custom logo apparel. Call Louis Logo at 413-539-8541 for help in finding the right item for your logo.
This is Paul, founder of V1 Vodka. Passion, commitment, and the love of my family led me to create the world's only 100% eco-friendly spelt wheat vodka. Rated as the most drinkable vodka in the world, V1 plays well with others.
Hey, Slugger, you played hard at work today. Now get to the dugout.
The Dugout Cafe, located at 134 Meadow Street in Chicopee. We have the NFL package and 7 TVs, 2 of which are 60-inch plasmas. Does Sunday afternoon work for you? Try one of 8 thirst-quenching beers on tap while you're watching your favorite NFL team. We also have a wide variety of domestic and imported beers, a game of pool, keno, and a delicious grinder and pizza from our famous pizza shop. Book your next occasion now with Jordan, Blake, or Sydney. Our dining can accommodate up to 30 people. The Dugout Cafe and Pizza Shop, 134 Meadow Street in Chicopee. Call for takeout at 533-1799 or 533-1780.
And now, back to the off-season on Sports Radio 105.5 WEEI.
Welcome back to the off-season, sponsored by Dr. Deegan's Restaurant Lounge on Burnett Road in Chicopee. Joe, Little surprise guest. Tell us a little bit about the surprise guest that came in today.
Just a little, my Lord. An inductee in the first class of Holyoke Catholic Hall of Fame. Great basketball player. Came in dribbling the ball this morning. And
no pass, though.
Well, he never did pass, from what I understand. I never had the privilege of watching him play, but one of the great ones ever to come out of Holyoke in this area happens to be your father, Bob Skippy Ferreter. Skip, it's great to have you in studio.
Yeah, great to be here.
Thanks a lot for coming in. We really appreciate it. And congratulations, as Joe said, with the first class at Holyoke Catholic High School Hall of Fame that they're going to have in the beginning of May. Tell us a little bit about that honor and how it felt when you got that call.
Well, yeah, I was, I don't want to say I expected it, but...
but you did.
Yeah. No, it was nice. I got a nice form letter from the committee and explaining everything, and they have a shepherd for each inductee, and Franny Kane called me up. He's my shepherd, so if I had any questions or anything like that, and then I saw it in the paper, and I was really pleased. I had 3 kids that I coached made it, Jimmy Palmer, Tommy Ginley, and Dave Ellison, and I'm sure the next couple of years there'll be some more of them kids from back in the 60s that'll make it. They were all good players. But I had great friends like Bobby Gahn and Bobby Machowski who, deserved it. They made it. They were outstanding football players in the early 50s. And, well, it's something new. It's something new, and I got a kick out of it.
Tell us a little bit about how glad you were to see them go back a long way.
Well, I was, because I was glad to see it. They went back before 1948. The fall of 48 is when Holyoke Catholic started. Or the fall of 47. It was the year of 48. But I was glad to see him go before that, because a couple of guys that were really good friends of mine, Joe Conway and Stum Grabasek, they both made it, and they deservingly so back in the 30s with Rosary.
Amazing to me, Bob, is that, being from South Hadley and not even being aware of Catholic until it was probably 13 or 14 years old, and we started playing against Catholic in sports. How many good athletes went to Holyoke Catholic High School?
Well, yes, and it was very small. I mean, Holyoke Catholic started, Father Larry, Monsignor Larry was the one that instigated it. It was St. Jerome, Sacred Heart, Rosary, and Precious Blood came in a couple of years later, and they had a couple of good athletes from down in Precious Blood that were friends of mine. But how they organized it, people thought, I remember being at a football game. I'm standing on the up an alumni field, probably in the 70s, and a team come in from Turner's Falls, and the fans were walking by me. I always stood by the ropes, and I could hear them saying, "This is a tough game. This is a big school down here." And I turned around. I said, "Big school, Holyoke Catholic." Well, my graduating class at St. Jerome was 37, so I figured Rosary was about 37, 38, and Sacred Heart was maybe a little higher, maybe 41. And you total that up, your senior class, when you're playing, or who the coaches had to choose from, was 140 kids maybe. But because of athletics, they had this charisma. Like Holyoke Catholic, they had great teams in football and basketball, baseball, and these people from Turner's Falls actually thought they were coming down and playing a powerhouse school, and they didn't realize how big it was until they started these tournaments where they have Division 1, 2, and 3, and Holyoke Catholic belongs in Division 3 with
the smaller schools.
Yeah, Granby, Belchertown, schools like that. But back when we played in the early 50s, we weren't in the league, and we played all of the Valley League teams. We played Greenfield, Turner's Falls, Holyoke High, Chicopee Comp, and then Cathedral on the side. So we were always outnumbered whoever we played, but they had a lot of great athletes coming up in the years that I can recall. And then even later, I mean, I followed Holyoke Catholic up until today, and they had a lot of way above average. I mean, Bobby Gahn, there wasn't a quarterback in the area that was probably better than Bobby Gahn, who went on to Michigan State until he got hurt. He had to drop out. He was I mean, there ain't too many quarterbacks around here that go out to Michigan State to play ball on scholarship. And, a great friend of mine, and I was glad to see him get elected to the Hall of Fame. And Bobby Machowski was a great halfback. And a few years later, you had Gene DeFilippo, on a few weeks ago on this show.
Right,
and,
sure.
Junior.
Yeah.
And his father was the coach of a semi-pro team back in '56, and so the Hoyok Knights. And Bobby Gunn and Bobby Machasi were great ball players in that team, and they played the top teams from Connecticut down in Quincy. Gates Salvucci, who was the ASA coach, he played with Quincy, and there was Alan Webb.
Played for the Giants.
Yeah, Alan Webb was
halfback.
a great receiver with him. And about a few years later, when pro football started again on TV, I'm watching the Giants, and they were lacking a few defensive halfbacks that could hurt. And all of a sudden, Alan Webb's out there starting with the New York Giants. And the Hoyok Knights, Moose Meehan used to run the team, and he was the manager, the coach, chief bottle washer, and everything. And the semi-pro was so great. There was no pro football on TV in those days. I'm talking 56, 57, 58. And so they would play at Mackenzie, and they would have 5,000 or 6,000 people at the game. It sounds crazy now. You could form a semi-pro team. With TV, semi-pros in every sport went wayward. But those old enough to remember back in the 50s, it was great enjoyment on a Sunday. You go up to Mackenzie and you see top-notch ball. And Bobby Gunn and Bobby Machowski were both outstanding players on that team. Not just friends of mine, but they were outstanding.
So they were from that era, the 50s era that you played in, and you talk about that. But give us one or two stories, because Joe, RHB, and myself were all very, pretty close with Stum Garbosic, and you're going back to the early 30s. And you grew up with one of his sons, Wally.
Yeah, Wally Garbosic.
Tell us a story or two about Stum back then. He was 2 years behind.
Well, Stum was a great semi-pro player. He was in the middle of semi-pro basketball and baseball. I see him play baseball at in the KSC tournament at Mackenzie, which was a big tournament in the 40s, and I was just a little kid. And there's a lot of guys from Springfield that were old semi-pro ball players, and when I meet them, I'd have Wally Garbosic with me, and I'd introduce him. They say, "Was Stum any relation to Stum?" And Wally would say, "Yeah, that's my father." And these guys would rave about him. And these guys were great athletes himself in Springfield. But Stum was legendary. He could turn up on a team in Hadley or South Hadley or anywhere in Springfield.
A great natural athlete, Bob. Great athlete. He won the '73 Jimmy Young.
I was at that tournament.
Jimmy Young with his son Wally. They won it on the 20th sudden death hole over Jackie Brez and Paul Kowicki from Ludlow CC. But I saw him play at the Cape one day at New Seabury, where on that first hole he hit drive 5-iron for eagle, drive 5-iron. The next day at Seabury, drive 3-wood 5-iron and 2 putts. But not only was he a great person, great family man, he was a gifted natural athlete. He played soccer. He played everything. He could have picked up a lacrosse stick and been All-American.
I hear not only about his exploits as a soccer player, but a tremendous diver off of High Rock in the Connecticut River, the South Hadley side.
Yeah, he was famous down in the flats. Bobby Gunn used to tell me stories. Like, he would be over the ball field and teach him how to throw a football or any sport. And
Great guy.
A guy had told me a funny story how he was so confident and had such ability in every sport. He was playing baseball at McNally Field, and he hit a ball out to the tennis courts way out in left field, and it almost hit the guys out there. And so somebody said, "Stump, you almost hit the tennis player." He says, "That guy's a champion Hoyok." He says, "I'll probably play him next week. Stump could any sport, swimming." And all these guys from the flats benefited. They benefited because there isn't a guy that played ball I knew from the flats that didn't come in his tutelage.
You know what, Bob? I don't think there's a guy that didn't benefit just by knowing Stumble.
Yeah.
He was so good to all of us. Peter Bain credits him with certainly launching his career as a basketball at St. Pat's. He was terrific. But and of course, his sons and
the sons. I come out of the Army, and I play with a team in South Hadley, a semi-pro team, and he had a son who I didn't know at the time, Mike Barsic, and I couldn't believe how this kid could jump and play basketball. We had a great team with Wade Dotson and different players from Hoyok, and we play in the old town hall, which is about as big as this room we're talking in. And we would kill the teams from Hoya Glustoyo and them teams that were all friends of mine. They come over and we beat them like 140 to 102. It was like pro scores. I mean, the court was. Chris would be throwing it from half court there. It was about as big as this room, and I have great memories there because Mike Bostic, I said, this kid was as good as I've seen. I mean, if he was at Hoya Catholic, he would have really helped them. And Wally was a good player, and I played ball with Wally at Westfield State. But the coach mentioned that tournament in '73. He said I was at that with Bobby Wachowski and Bobby Gahn, and I was just picking up golf a little bit, and I couldn't believe we used to play with Wally out in East Mountain in the league, and he was like a pro out there. You know, he could go around that course with 37, 38, and we go over there. They're in the championship finals, and I'll never forget. I didn't have a $2 bet on them, and after the match, you know, it was a great match on an 18th hole stump. I'll never forget that hole, and the great shot he made to get on the green, and then they won in the playoff, and I think Wally made a birdie. Yeah. But after the match, I always remember there was a friend of Stump's that, well, I didn't know he was a friend of his, and they had a beer stand outside. They didn't have a bar upstairs. So this guy's buying me and Mr. Gahn and Mr. Wachowski beers left and right. And I said, Wally, where are these coming from?
You thought golf was great at that point.
Oh, I said, I'll pick up this sport. And so what happens is, he said, oh, he's a friend of my father. He had a $2 bet on us, and they paid about $240 or something for two. So I said to Wally, I said, well, you didn't have a ticket? He says, no. He says, and Wally used to play poker with us at East Mountain. He said, I never bet on myself in a golf tournament. But
Dick Matheson bet that.
Dick Matheson had the $2 ticket, and he was buying all the drinks.
I'll never forget that.
But
retirement next year.
those are a few walks down memory lane there. We're running out of time here, but when we have Fran Kane and Rich Soban on to talk about the induction in the Hall of Fame in May 8th, maybe we'll have you back on, but we thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Yes,
I want to add one thing.
Of course you do.
Yeah, you have to get the hook to get me out, but I think that Hoya Catholic, the committee, I know Rich Soban and Johnny Johnson and Franny Kane, and they're three
great guys.
Three great guys, and they're very instrumental
in getting this thing going.
Getting this thing.
Congratulations on your upcoming induction, and thank you for coming in.
All right, and we'll be right back. That was Bob Farrader, first class of Hoya Catholic High School, and my dad. We're all proud of him, and we'll be right back on
Sports Radio 105.5 WEEI.
Dr. Deegan's Restaurant and Lounge has a family-friendly atmosphere with 2 dining rooms and a large 30-seat bar. The bar area offers complete mass lottery and keno services while watching all the games on 50-inch plasma TVs situated for your viewing pleasure. They offer a large selection of bottled beer, local microbrews, and both domestic and imports on tap. Dr. Deegan's has all your favorite appetizers, generous specialty salads, and homemade soups and chili to start you off. They offer mile-high deli sandwiches, pressed burgers, and their famous Reubens. If you're looking for steaks, chops, seafood, or pasta, their nightly specials start at $9.95. If you can make it for lunch, they have daily blackboard specials that offer ample portions with prices too low to mention. Don't forget, the main dining room is always available for private parties, luncheons, and functions for up to 75 guests. Dr. Deegan's is conveniently located at 510 Burnett Road in Chicopee, just off the Mass Pike at Exit 6 and at the end of Interstate 291. Give Pete and his dedicated staff a call at 592-3378 to book your next function, or just stop by for a good time, a cold beverage, and great food at reasonable prices.
Hey, Chris, do you have time to go out after golf today?
Sure, Joe. What do you say we go and see Pat and the gang down at Brennan's Pub?
Outstanding. A glass of Guinness, some of Pat's famous wings, and all the games on TV. Does it get any better than that?
I don't see how it can. Remember, the kitchen's open until they close.
A little bit of Ireland downtown. Brennan's Pub, located on High Street in Holyoke. Tell Pat Joe and Chris sent you.
It's here, the most anticipated zip line in New England, the Valley Jumping Tour at Berkshire East. Soar at speeds up to 60 miles an hour and heights up to 200 feet off the ground as you zip across the valley and back. Experience New England's beautiful foliage like you've never seen it before on the most exhilarating zip line run on the East Coast. Berkshire East Canopy Tours offers beginner and intermediate tours, as well as the new Extreme Valley Jumping Tour. Call Berkshire East Canopy Tours today at 413-339-6618 or log on to berkshirezip.com.
Want to get the best best damn coffee in town? Whether you have time to enjoy the comfortable surroundings or need to get to your next destination, the Dam Cafe has what you need. Centrally located on Route 5 in Holyoke, the Dam Cafe features locally brewed Blue Moon coffee to start your day, homemade soups and gourmet sandwiches to eat in or take out for lunch or dinner, and leather couches and free Wi-Fi if you're looking to relax with a latte or cappuccino later on. So, the next time you find yourself waiting in line at the drive-thru for an okay cup of coffee, think about the Dam Cafe and give yourself a treat.
Edwards Insurance Agency is proud to be a sponsor of the off-season in its inaugural year on Sports Radio 105.5 WEEI. We would like to wish the hosts Joe Trop and Chris Ferreter the very best with the show. Edwards Insurance Agency is located at 10 Center Street in downtown Chicopee. Edwards Insurance handles auto, home, and life, as well as business insurance needs. Please stop in and see us or give us a call at 413-598-8381 for all your insurance needs.
Are you looking for a relaxing atmosphere to enjoy your favorite sporting event? We have 8 TVs to keep your interest for more than one game. During the game, enjoy a cocktail, one of our 22 different bottled beers, or one of our 9 beers on tap. All Mass Lottery games are here to help you while away the hours between games. Cozy Oaks is always looking for pool teams to sponsor. Parking is never a problem. Come see us and you're sure to come back. Cozy Oaks, Route 33 South Hadley. You never know who you'll find at the Cozies.
We're back with the off-season on Sports Radio 105.5 WEEI. This week's Look Ahead is sponsored by Lipinski Electric, a leader in the electrical industry since 1953. Located in Chicopee, Lipinski Electric is a union shop capable of handling the most complex electrical installation. Specializing in traffic signaling, primary and secondary distribution, roadway and athletic field lighting, and design-build projects, Lipinski Electric has built an impressive resume of satisfied customers. Contact us at info@lipinskiinc.com or call 413-593-1055.
Welcome back to the off-season, sponsored by Dr. Deegan's Restaurant Lounge on Burnett Road in Chicopee. For our look ahead today, Joe, we got some special guests in the studio.
Oh, this is going to be terrific. We have James Morton, the president and CEO of the YMCA of Greater Springfield, along with Andrea Lupi, the director of development at the Y, and Jeff Sadler, the president of Nouveau Bank and co-chair of this tremendous fundraiser that is going to be held on April 21st. James, I'm going to throw it right over to you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, we've got some exciting news for the Greater Springfield community, and that is that Theo Epstein, the general manager of the Boston Red Sox, is going to be our keynote speaker at this year's annual campaign breakfast. The breakfast takes place on April 21st. Doors open at 7:30. We fly Theo Epstein in by helicopter that morning.
Just like you, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we're very excited. Imagine Theo Epstein is coming to the city of Springfield, and he's participating, and we're lucky enough to have him participate in our annual campaign breakfast. And as you all know, the breakfast is designed to raise money that allows us to make our services at the YMCA available to every youngster and every family in our city, regardless of their ability to pay.
That's tremendous. Jeff, how did you become involved?
Well, I got involved last year when Peter Straley from a local business we know as Health New England asked me to participate as a co-chair, and I said, well, when I get involved, I like to put both feet into the event. So I met James, took a tour of the Y, certainly know the Y from working in downtown for the last 25-plus years, and seeing the amount of outreach they had, not just in Springfield, but through 12 different towns and communities within our region. So the Y really plays a big part of many of our lives and helps support a lot of people. So with that, I got involved. We had Tim Wakefield last year as our keynote speaker for our event, and this year with Theo on board, we're real excited. Theo, as we know, Theo's very tough to get a hold of, and Andrea's done a great job bringing him into the city of Springfield. My co-chair for the event this year is Kathleen Kane, who is the manager of the Northwestern Mutual Financial Network here in Springfield. So she and I, along with about 25 other cabinet individuals, professionals in the marketplace, have spearheaded a campaign to help bring the annual campaign over the top.
As we mentioned earlier before we came on, Andrea was the chief recruiter in Theo, and I got to tip my hat to Andrea on that. during baseball season to get Theo to come out. I mean, we discussed it's a great fundraiser and everything like that, but to get him there, that's a real tip of the cap to Andrea, and just look forward to hearing all about it.
Well, she obviously didn't ask him about Mike Lowell, but that that is a very
that's for the 21st.
That's exactly right.
Well, we told her not to talk to Theo about next year when we're trying to get A-Rod, so we're going to keep that separate.
Another Red Sox, another Red Sox fan.
I think that Theo's going to sell out a little more than A-Rod, but maybe Jeff's a Yankee fan. We're not sure yet.
Listen, I know why it's such a terrific organization, Chris. I know I was a member there when I was probably 8 years old initially in Holyoke, Mass., and I know you played there and shot a lot of hoop there.
Well, I'm a Holyoke guy, Holyoke YMCA guy through and through from the very start, probably earlier than 8 years old, but and it's a family thing with us, but the programs that the Y run are second to none. And Jim, you want to tell us a little bit more about some of the programs that this breakfast is going to help boost?
Well, thank you. As you well know, everybody recognizes the YMCA as a swim, gym, and camp organization, and we are all of that. We love our sports at the Y, and we've got right now a program called Y Speed, which is an indoor track program for kids from 7 to 22, and those kids compete all over New England. They've been to Harvard 3 times this year, Smith College 3 times, and the Reggie Lewis Center twice. We're headed to New York next weekend, where they'll compete not only against kids their age, but they're competing against college kids and beating them. We've got a Y Ride program, which is a horseback riding program. We take kids from the north end of the city and take them to Somers, Connecticut, to a stable where they learn how to care for horses, and then they learn to ride those horses. They respect the animals and then learn to ride the animals, and to do so with respect. Part of our core value, respect. We also have the Y Rowing program, where we're teaching kids how to row. Our goal is to get kids on the water right here in the city of Springfield by May of this year. We're very excited about that program, and we think that our pilot is probably going to be replicated throughout the United States among YMCAs. So that's another sports-related program. Basketball leagues, we got youth basketball leagues for little kids, instructional leagues. We have got teen leagues to keep the kids busy at night playing. All of our drop-in centers have sports programs. So we love sports and camp. 1,300 kids go to camp every summer from the city of Springfield to our camps throughout the greater Springfield area. What larger footprint could we have? And while we have those children in camp, we're teaching them our core values of honesty, respect, caring, and responsibility. So sports and camps are big, but we also are a social service organization. We've got a teen parenting program where we teach young, first-time teen parents who've dropped out of school. We provide them with GED preparation, as well as parenting skills, life skills, and we teach them how to be better parents. We affect their literacy and the literacy of their children, and probably the literacy of the parents that are at home with them. So it's a 3-generational literacy program. We have a housing program that provides housing to 104 residents in the city of Springfield, and we would suggest that at least 50 or 60% of those individuals would be struggling to find a place to live. But our program is well run, it's clean, it's decent, it's safe, and it's affordable, and we're very proud of that housing program. So my point is, we're a swim, gym, and camp and a social service agency with a very big footprint, doing the best work that we can to serve the needs of those who have the greatest needs in our city.
With Springfield College being right here in the city that you're working in, a lot of their graduates go on to the YMCAs around the country. I would think that you mentioned that some of your programs are pilot programs, so they're going to be able to take what this it's very key that the Springfield Y gets involved in is ahead of the curve. So they're going to take those programs that they learn in college and being in the city here all over the country. Is that what you're seeing what's happening?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have a fantastic relationship with Springfield College and some of the other local colleges, but especially Springfield College, because the mind-body-spirit balance is a part of Springfield College's motto, as well as the motto of the YMCA. And so we put on a Springfield Youth Olympics every summer. The last 3 years, it's one of the biggest youth sports events in this region. Last year, we attracted 500 kids to that event, and we charged $1. And kids got the T-shirt cost us $7, so they really got a good deal there. But our goal is to make it available, make the sports and activities available for every youngster. Between track and field, soccer, we also had tennis and golf last year.
Great. So the programs are obviously second to none. How would someone get involved in the April 21st banquet?
I'll answer a little bit of that, but before I do, I wanted to. You can tell that James has a passion to be the executive director, which got many of us business people involved. And when I say that, I'm a graduate of Springfield College. Spirit, mind, and body comes with the territory. And that school, along with the Y, has a lot of significance for this town. But there's also a lot of business owners that see what James's work has been doing, and that's also getting involved with the school system to help the high school kids and the younger kids make sure they get their education. The business community is rallying behind this program to help sponsor our annual event using Theo to be able to help James work with the directors of the different high schools, et cetera, to help these kids graduate. That's real important. We need to do that for our community, and that's part of why I am really involved in seeing the passion that is involved in this whole endeavor. As far as getting involved, the question is for everybody out there listening, how can you get involved? If you're a business owner, we have numbers of different levels of sponsorship. If you want to be a table captain, for $1,500, you can be a table captain. You can have 10 seats to the event, bring business people that you know, bring customers, prospects. So there's a lot of business owners that see the value in this opportunity and taking advantage of that. And there's other levels of sponsorship. Obviously, the higher the level, the more access you're going to have to Theo Epstein, and they can call us at the Y, and we can fill them in on all the different levels and the specifics to that. The phone number for you to call at the Y, because I don't want you to call my number. I don't want to spend half my day answering the phone that Andrea should do. But the number is 739-6951.
Now, Jeff, could an individual purchase a ticket for the event?
Absolutely. The cost of the event is $150 per individual ticket. You don't have to buy a table. You could buy an individual ticket to get in. We want to make sure that as many people in the community have access to this event and can participate and share in the experience of Theo Epstein. So, of course, that. And the event is early in the day. We open the doors at 7:30 on the morning of April 21st, and the program's over between 10 and 10:30 in the morning. Theo Epstein is being flown in by helicopter and flown out because there's a game that night, and so of course he's going to be busy preparing for that. But we invite everybody to.
So tickets can be purchased at the door, at the event, the morning of the event,
at the YMCA.
Can they be purchased in advance?
Yes, they can be purchased in advance. In fact, we encourage folks to purchase them in advance.
All they need to do is call the YMCA, and we can set that up with them.
Okay.
And also, just to let you know, not only Theo will be there, but the trophies for the championship will be on site. So they'll be able to have a picture of themselves in front of the trophy there as well, which is very unique. A lot of times you only see Theo and you don't see the trophies from the championship series, but they'll be there as well.
Are they coming by separate helicopter, or are they coming with
I think so. I think for insurance purposes. We can't lose both at the same time.
That's right. That's right. So let's give that number again one more time and where it's at and what day it's at and all that.
Great. That number is 739-6951, and ask for the development office, and they'll connect you with the opportunity to purchase tickets and to purchase tables if that's your wish.
And we're April 21st, and where are we at?
April 21st at Western New England College, and there'll be plenty of parking, and we've got a room for 1,100 people. So right now, we've sold about 500 tickets, so you should probably.
I don't see any problem with that.
Move forward.
Just to clarify, the tickets must be purchased in advance. I mean, that's for, I'm sure for planning purposes, and so they have to be purchased in advance. So please call the number. We want to thank you all for coming in.
Yeah, great. Thanks a lot, Jeff, for getting involved. Andrea for roping in and recruiting Theo. And James, keep it up. All the great work that goes on at the YMCAs all around the area, but especially Springfield. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be back next week.
On Sports Radio 105.5 WEEI.
This is Paul, founder of V1 Vodka. Passion, commitment, and the love of my family led me to create the world's only 100% eco-friendly spelt wheat vodka. Rated as the most drinkable vodka in the world, V1 plays well with others.
Do you have a family full of golfers? Having trouble getting a prime tee time? Consider a Holyoke Country Club for your family's needs. Head professional Via Whiteman is second to none when it comes to working with junior golfers. There are numerous outings for the whole family, and getting out on the course is never a problem. Log on to www.holyokecountryclub.com and check out the very reasonable family plans, or to purchase a gift certificate for carts, greens fees, or even your membership. Next golf season, make it Holyoke Country Club for your family.
Need to communicate? communicate, sell your services, stand out from your competitors? Direct mail works. Let ARS Strategic Mail Services in Holyoke show you how to communicate with your customers or reach new prospects. People like to get mail. Put your message directly into people's hands with targeted direct mail. Let our 30 years of experience lead you through the maze of the Postal Service, all for less than the cost of a first-class stamp. ARS Strategic Mail Services, 532 Main Street in Holyoke, 413-532-2515.
Looking to improve your identity? Let Louis Logo help. From the largest corporation to the smallest organizations, we can fill your needs for custom logoed apparel. Call Louis Logo at 413-539-8541 for help in finding the right item for your logo. Hey, Slugger, you played hard at work today. Now get to the dugout.
The Dugout Cafe, located at 134 Meadow Street in Chicopee. We have the NFL package and 7 TVs, 2 of which are 60-inch plasmas. Does Sunday afternoon work for you? Try one of 8 thirst-quenching beers on tap while you're watching your favorite NFL team. We also have a wide variety of domestic and imported beers, a game of pool, keno, and a delicious grinder and pizza from our famous pizza shop. Book your next occasion now with Jordan, Blake, or Sydney. Our dining can accommodate up to 30 people. The Dugout Cafe and Pizza Shop, 134 Meadow Street in Chicopee. Call for takeout at 533-1799 or 533-1780.
host.
James, keep it up. All the great work that goes on at the YMCAs all around the area, but especially Springfield. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you for having us.
We'll be back next week.
On Sports Radio 105.5 WEEI.
This is Paul, founder of V1 Vodka. Passion, commitment, and the love of my family led me to create the world's only 100% eco-friendly spelt wheat vodka. Rated as the most drinkable vodka in the world, V1 plays well with others.
Do you have a family full of golfers? Having trouble getting a prime tee time? Consider a Holyoke Country Club for your family's needs. Head professional Via Whiteman is second to none when it comes to working with junior golfers. There are numerous outings for the whole family, and getting out on the course is never a problem. Log on to www.holyokecountryclub.com and check out the very reasonable family plans, or to purchase a gift certificate for carts, greens fees, or even your membership. Next golf season, make it Holyoke Country Club for your family.
Need to communicate? Sell your services? Stand out from your competitors? Direct mail works. Let ARS Strategic Mail Services in Holyoke show you how to communicate with your customers or reach new prospects. People like to get mail. Put your message directly into people's hands with targeted direct mail. Let our 30 years of experience lead you through the maze of the Postal Service, all for less than the cost of a first-class stamp. ARS Strategic Mail Services, 532 Main Street in Holyoke, 413-532-2515.
Looking to improve your identity? Let Louis Logo help. From the largest corporation to the smallest organizations, we can fill your needs for custom logo apparel. Call Louis Logo at 413-539-8541 for help in finding the right item for your logo. Hey, Slugger, you played hard at work today. Now get to the dugout.
The Dugout Cafe, located at 134 Meadow Street in Chicopee. We have the NFL package and 7 TVs, 2 of which are 60-inch plasmas. Does Sunday afternoon work for you? Try one of 8 thirst-quenching beers on tap while you're watching your favorite NFL team. We also have a wide variety of domestic and imported beers, a game of pool, keno, and a delicious grinder and pizza from our famous pizza shop. Book your next occasion now with Jordan, Blake, or Sydney. Our dining can accommodate up to 30 people. The Dugout Cafe and Pizza Shop, 134 Meadow Street in Chicopee. Call for takeout at 533-1799 or 533-1780.